All right, stream is going right now because it's noon. Da, 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 da. Day. Oh look, it went. It said it went live. See, it went live. I don't know if you're watching, but it went live. There we go. Okay, here we go. X1 Albany's Online Rock. I am Big Rich. Thanks for tuning in. Obviously, if you saw everything on social media, you saw I got Frank Palangi talking to me via Skype, and we got a lot of stuff to talk about. Frank, how you doing today?
Hey, pretty good, man.
Good. Excellent. Man, when was the last time we talked to you? It was you and Josh were in the studio. I think it was about something. It was last summer, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe half a year ago, I don't know. It was pretty hot, I remember.
Yeah, it was. It
It was
was.
the fall. Now I remember.
Yeah, it's very warm here in the studio, so it was one of those things. But I mean, you've been busy. Obviously, uh, you've been on top of stuff. I mean, uh, you've got you've got some you got some acoustic stuff coming out. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was basically the two acoustic albums. My original EP and the I Am Ready one, because basically, it's kind of getting old now, I guess. But it's a 5 year anniversary of both of them, so I decided to go back and do acoustic versions of them. And really, it was the fans that said, you play acoustic out all the time. Why don't you do some acoustic versions of something? And I go,
Right.
well, since it's the 5th year anniversary, it's perfect to go back and redo those songs rather than just redoing them, and offer a little bit different side.
Right. And I should also know. I should also say that if you do have questions for Frank, I do have live chat going on the stream here, so you can jump into the stream on YouTube on our YouTube channel, and you can throw a question at us, and I can read it off to Frank here because I got it open up here. But yeah, I mean, but you've got some new stuff that you're working on, though. I mean, I I would think you would. You're a busy guy. Every time I look at you on Facebook or Twitter and everything, you got something going on.
Yeah, I'm always busy. Definitely new music. We have a new music video releasing hopefully late summer. The song's called "Set Me Free," and I'm working on other songs as well to try to get like an EP together here.
And that's a new song, right? That's not something that you had
Yeah,
before.
100% new. Yeah, no, like, oh, I wrote it 6 years ago.
It was just sitting there, and I decided, this will make a good little ditty. No. All right, cool.
Yep, yep. There is a song though I can say on the EP that was written right before I Am Ready. It was actually the choice of to do that song or I Am Ready at the time, and I never really got to do it. And I've been sitting on it for a long time. And I had Lester from he's drumming with Kelly Clarkson now. I had him redo the drums, and so you hear that version of that song. You might know it. You might find it on cdbaby.com. Hint, hint, hint.
Hint,
Only,
hint.
only there.
Oh,
I
oh,
consider it, an unreleased track, but I just threw it up there for free. The original version.
right. Okay. Well, so there you go. Go to cdbaby.com, buy it. It's you can't.
That's free. Yeah, it's
Oh,
even
oh,
better.
oh, it's even free. Better. Free is good. Free is excellent.
Yeah. Well,
So, yeah, what I mean, what other kinds of things are you working on besides? I mean, you got your music. What does Frank Palangi do when he's not making music? I mean, I always see you making music. You got to be doing something else. No,
uh, no,
no,
no.
you're all about it.
I go out to eat, go to the movies. Play
You
some video games here and
use a
there.
restroom every now and again.
Occasionally remember to do stuff. I don't know. A lot of it is music. Like during the week, it's a job. It's not a 24-hour day job, but it could be, I guess. But I do it as on my own schedule, but as long as I can.
Yeah,
I wake up. I kind of have a routine. I wake up. I always take a shower first, and I eat, and then I'm always checking. I gotta do social media, and then either I go into working on songs, recording, or practicing, or sometimes it's social media all day with just the stuff, setting up everything or making new posters, ordering this and that. I don't know, it's endless. Working on like I redo my bio maybe like 2 times a year, and working on lyrics and
You're like a
I don't.
one-man machine, really.
It's a
Honestly.
lot. It's a lot.
Well, all right. So I mean, we all, if you follow Frank on Facebook, on Twitter, you even have a YouTube channel, I believe, right?
Yeah, I have one for Vivo and one for myself.
Oh, there you go. Okay. So, I mean, let's dive in more into what you do. Since I asked, what kind of video games? I mean, what are the games that are what kind of system and what kind of games you're usually into? Let's find
I
out.
owned them all at one point, but I had to sell them all because of the room. Right now I just have a PS3, but I miss everything else. But yeah, I mean, I'm a big Resident Evil, Silent Hill, Metal Gear Solid, the original Call of Duty franchise, not the modern stuff. Um, a lot of those kind of alien horror games. Like, I'm a big horror buff, so anything that's blood and guts
Ooh,
and that maybe will scare you.
okay. Well, let me ask you this: do you read comic books? Because I might have some comic books that you'd be interested in reading that are based on George Romero's early version of Living Dead.
Oh, that would be sick.
I know a guy we interviewed. BJ and I interviewed him on Geek Show. I'm gonna send you the link for the comics. Have you look at them and see what you think. And I think if you're into that stuff, I think you'll like it. I enjoyed the comics. I think you would enjoy it too. So I'll send you that link.
All right, that sounds good.
All right. So you also have some. You were also mentioning off the air before we started. You do have some shows coming up. Tell us where you're going to be. Anything else you want to tell us about that? I mean, just go nuts. It's all you, man.
Well, next week, I believe May 18th, we're opening an acoustic set for Trapped here at the Chance with Smile Empty Soul, and that's in Poughkeepsie, New York. I still have some tickets if you guys want to get a hold of me between now and tomorrow.
Ooh,
I can probably mail it out for you by next week.
go
And
right to the source.
yeah, you got to. Well, we're required to sell a certain amount as well, so I always tell people, if you go to the website and buy tickets, it doesn't help, me at all. But
Yeah.
I guess that's up to you guys. Let's see. Besides that, day after, I'm at Spa City, just a cover gig at downtown Saratoga here, and there's a lot of those type acoustic gigs. There was 3 festivals. I was playing one of them canceled, so I got two now. I'm trying to remember the date. August 20th or 21st is the Hope Rocks Festival. Trying to think of the other one. If you have bands in town, like that app, or if you go to ReverbNation.com or Songkick, you can see all the dates listed
Yeah,
there.
and I'm sure it's on your
Trying to think.
website as well, right?
Yeah, my website. I know we're doing a headlining show at Trick Shots if you want to come out.
Ooh, there we go.
August 26th. That'll be a good one.
Yeah, that sounds like a good one. Definitely, definitely. And now you mentioned earlier that you were opening, doing a acoustic set. You're opening for Trapped, or is this?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
and you've worked with them before, right?
Yeah, 2 other times.
Yeah, I mean they're a good bunch of guys. I've met them twice before when I was working at that other station across town. So they're good
Yeah.
guys. I mean they're a lot of fun to talk with, and good music. I'm sure it's going to be a great time for you. I'm betting.
I actually seen their poster on the wall when I was there the other week for the interview.
Oh
There's
really?
actually 2 trap posters. But you know what? I've got a poster now in the studio.
Oh, you do? Oh,
Oh yeah.
nice, nice. So you're getting up there. You're getting there. You're getting there. You know, you know what? I'll
Well, it's
go.
been fun.
What was that?
I said, oh, it's been fun. I know as a band, we opened up for Red Sun Rising in February, and that was awesome. That was a great show. It sold out. Been doing a lot of, little things and stuff like that. You call them like one-offs.
Yeah.
One off with this guy, one off with this artist, and
Well, I mean, sometimes that's how you really get that notoriety. Somebody, I mean, I remember going to see Van Halen back when I was living in the Midwest. There was this one guy from Canada, never heard of him, but he's all that in a bag of chips, in the Great White North,
I,
and I followed him on Facebook here and there, and it never seemed to want to come down here other than to open for the bigger acts. So I don't know, but man, he sounds good. You got maybe I should get you guys together and do a show or something.
that would be sick.
That would be
Yeah,
cool.
I'd be
Cool.
game for that.
Yeah, get you up in the Great White. Let's let America's Hat know about Frank Palangi.
I'm hoping, man. Everyone's like, why don't you come here? Why don't you come there? And I'm like, I've traveled a little bit, but it costs so much, and I'm like, it's hard to land an opening slot on a tour nowadays, like by yourself,
Hmm.
because I don't have booking agent or anything like that, but I luckily I do pretty well by myself, but you know, at one point I had a manager for a couple months and that kind of fell flat with, certain things going on with bookings and this and that, but I'm still looking for those kind of people as well to help, I consider it like side work, because anybody that you team up with that says, I can get you this, I can get you that, but at the same time, if you know how it works, but you're working hard, you don't rely on them 100%, it can work out, and you get there faster. But
Right.
it's getting more tough and more tough, and as far as like cover gigs, a lot of places are just stopping the music, or they have to dial down the budget and stuff because it's too much. Everything's raising. You got the minimum wage raised and
Yeah.
everything else.
What are some of the other hardships of being an artist in your situation? I mean, it's all you. It's basically you're your own management and everything like that. Where are the big challenges in doing that? Being, I mean, you're obviously you're your own boss and you're enjoying it, but where would you like to? Where is the challenge? That you always have to overcome. What are the big ones?
Um, I'd have to say like radio and labels, because nowadays it's just put
Yeah.
a big X over it.
Yep.
There's no way that even because I'm technically under an LLC whatever corporation thing now, but I can't just because of that go up and be like, hey, it's solicited or unsolicited material or whatever, and it's just back in, I don't know, even 20 years ago, you could probably call and get a meeting with some guy and at least meet up for 15 minutes or something like that to talk. But nowadays, what I see, which is a pain, is everyone, if they say they can deliver something,
Hmm.
wants you to pay for it.
Oh,
Everything is that. And I'm like, I'm paying for like not that stuff, but like already all these little things that I think
yeah.
are stupid, but you have to do nowadays, and you just can't do it. You know, I I only live on my music budget. That's all I make is from my music, from royalties, from merch, from gigs, all that kind of stuff. So it's very limited what I can
Right.
do. And I hate to say it, but I think the biggest thing that screwed it up is say like I don't know, I hit the lotto
Mm.
or somebody gave you a couple million or something like that. I guarantee you, um, within 6 months you'd see me on some gigantic tour with some gigantic artist. You know why? Because I paid for it.
Probably. That's yeah.
And that's what it comes down to, and that's pretty sad.
I mean, yeah. There's that old adage: you got to spend money to make money. But I mean, there should be a limit. I mean, somebody who obviously does have talent and it shouldn't be that. I mean, I guess those I complain about radio like that as well. I mean, I've been in radio for 25 years. I mean, you've done music for. I mean, how long have you been a musician, Frank?
A while, but I'd say like officially probably almost 10 years be
Yeah.
next year.
So I mean, I think you've seen some of the same struggles that I've seen parallel in radio in that regard. I mean, it's like, yeah, you gotta. They don't want to take you at your face word. If you're willing to pay up, they'll let you
Yeah.
do whatever you want, basically.
Radio's hard because it all goes through just labels, I think, paying off everybody, and there's no way to just be like, hey, play this, even not in rotation. Hey, can you play this a couple times during
Yeah.
a week or something like
Yeah.
that? So they have to play, the Alice in Chains, the Metallica,
It's
but none of the other stuff ever gets through. And they're like, well, we have a local hour, but that's really not
yeah.
good enough. The idea for that is to pick the songs that are popular,
Mm-hmm.
off the local hour and throw them in rotation just a little bit,
Yep.
see how they do.
Yeah.
But they can do that.
Yeah. I mean, it all comes down to the consultants. I mean, I've met a few consultants in radio, and they're nice guys, but business is business. I mean, ultimately they'll tell you, you know, they're they got to make money and they got to play what gets people excited in that. And unfortunately, the artists like the indie guys, they just kind of get thrown by the side, and it really does suck. I totally agree with you on that. It's an uphill battle too. So, which
Yeah,
is
everybody wants their money like right now.
yeah,
And I'm like, listen, it might come tomorrow, not right now, but it will come tomorrow.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Nobody's willing to do that anymore. Like, and you can't just they expect you to be a money making machine from
right.
from the get go. It's like doesn't that's not how it works. Maybe it works for the bigger artists, the
Yeah.
artists that you I don't know buy off somehow.
Wow. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's especially like with the bigger names. Um, you know, I'm gonna name a few bands. I mean, like Trapped, Queensryche, those kinds of guys that I've met. Aaron Lewis and all that. I mean, they come to town because they're getting paid to come to town to play those shows. Where the money's coming from is basically, you know, radio station sponsors like Monster or whoever, and you just it's kind of filtered down to the point where it's just a job like any other. I mean, am I wrong in this? I mean, or it just sounds like the fun is kind of maybe going out of it unless you're a bigger act, in which case you kind of control all that kind of thing. I mean,
Yeah, it's because it's a lot of pressure, it's a lot of stuff to worry about, and yeah, I mean sponsors definitely will help, but endorsements you don't get money up front, but
yeah,
it's hard to find a sponsor because then they want you, they already want to see you making a certain amount of money and things, and
yeah,
I do okay, but what I'm trying to say is like to get me to that a little bit of a next punch for them to get in there. They gotta just do it. Got to reach in there, reach in, give it a shot. It's because it's always like well, you don't make too you don't draw in more than that, or you don't make that much, or well it's not based off of that. It's like dude, if you say I'm compatible, the songs are good, just give it a shot. I guarantee you, those fans, everything,
something will
it'll
happen.
roll in like the old days.
Yeah, I
It,
mean,
it
old
might take
days.
a year, but it's all right.
Yeah, I mean the old days in radio, you had the DJs. The DJs picked the music. It wasn't a consultant. It wasn't or it was the guys behind the mic, guys like me that were, the artists were were being kind of groomed by some of the record labels and that, but it didn't work like it does nowadays, where you have the safe list and that's what you go by, and the consultant says, yes, this is what you want to play now, and we don't know what kind of deal was struck with the record company or anything like that. But yeah, I mean, it's tough for independent musicians to make their mark. I mean, but that's the internet, social media. That definitely, I think, has helped. Has that helped? Do you feel that's helped you? I mean, I think it does.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's really the only option, the only outlet. Um, I know, I mean, without the internet and stuff, I mean, I wouldn't be anywhere. I wouldn't be able to talk with anybody. I wouldn't get in touch with it just wouldn't work, because it doesn't work like it used to, and yeah, it's opened up a lot of doors. It's for me, I recently signed like a licensing agreement for Break These Chains, to be considered for projects like movies and television and all that kind of stuff. And that wouldn't have been possible if I didn't, search out these companies, and these companies were looking for, songwriters and artists and things that weren't signed. And yeah, there's a lot out there, but I think maybe the problem is you're involved with 1,000 smaller things, and what you really need is just those 5 bigger things to work with. It'd be a lot
Yeah.
easier to manage. But same thing with social media. They're like, you got to be on these 20 social media sites, and it's like, God, it's already takes me about an hour to update all the ones I have now, and you got to really think. It's not just. I think people think you go on and you just post something,
Yeah.
what's going on or for the heck of it, but you have to think about it as far as like
Yep.
a marketing standpoint and how is it going to be reached and all that jazz. So, it's with me, like with Facebook and stuff, like I give out a couple of personal things, here and there, but everyone's like, I'm not one of those guys who just floods my personal life and everything I'm doing with info and pictures and all that crap. And I think
Right.
that's what really everybody wants, is they want everybody's reality show. But ain't gonna happen.
No, I don't blame you. I don't want the world knowing what's going on in my house. I mean, I share stuff. My wife shares more than me now, so beware of that. I'm just friendly advice from one guy to another. That's they all don't all I'm sure there's husbands that do that too. So, but
Yeah.
mm,
I mean, it's still with everything. It's for me, even though how hard it is, it's the thrill of the hunt. I don't know what it
yeah,
is. It's just like I still got that fire going on, and they say when you lose that fire, you should give up. Because you don't have it anymore. It's if you're not willing to put in the work, if you're not willing to do it constantly, live and breathe it, and that's how I feel. And to me, I'm at the point I'm like, there really is no excuses. You either try to do it or you just don't, and just
yeah,
move on and do something else.
yeah,
Because it's not worth your time. But it's the people I talk with, the fans and um, the people at the shows and stuff like that make you forget about all that stuff. And
right,
and believe it or not, even if it's you're playing one show and you did all that sort of stuff and you're worrying about everything, a second you get up on that stage and stuff, it's worth it. It just goes away. And I think that's why all my energy comes out and stuff. It's like, because I'm kind of easygoing and like I'm not hopping up and down, here all the time.
right.
Like on stage, I just I
It's
just
it's
let it go.
yeah. It's not like you're watching David Lee Roth back in the '80s, where he's jumping
Yeah.
he's doing
Yep.
cartwheels and everything else.
Yep. So it's cool, and the audiences are different. Depending on you do an acoustic gig, you do a band gig, you do something in the middle. It's sometimes that's just a challenge trying to figure out what the right set is
Right.
for the right audience.
What was the best show that you've done so far out of all the
I always
shows?
say acoustically, out of all of them, would be Three Doors Down, and probably for the band would be either Starset or this last show with Red Sun Rising, because it's hard to describe, but there was some sort of, I'm going to use the word click thing that
Ooh,
happened between the three of us that I've never
mm,
really kind of experienced before. And even kind of when I went out on stage, everything just kind of felt different. It kind of felt like the feeling when I'm watching, favorite band that I'm like, they're doing their own thing. It's Metallica or whatever it is, and it's like I felt like when I went up there that we were doing our own thing, and it just kind of like it felt real. I don't know, it's weird.
No, man, I think I can kind of get an idea of how that is. I think I've felt that before on some things too. I mean, I think everybody's in one form or another may have, depending on what it is. But obviously, I mean, you get the added rush of doing what you love. That's
Yeah, like I can't wait to step out there. It's like I don't know.
don't I all I can say I do envy you on that. I really do. You're doing what you love, and that's the really cool thing about just about life in general. Doing what you love and really, 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 really getting something from that and giving something to the people. That's giving to others.
Yeah, I'll do it as long as I can. Until I completely go broke.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, we'll try to make sure that doesn't happen. We'll try to get as many people. I'll do my part. I'll tell people, that listen to me about you and where you're going to be and all that. And well,
And tell people that don't listen.
just my luck. Yeah. Oh, that guy who wants to listen to that jerk. That.
Yep. Well, you know what? They say something, but guess what? They know my name.
Yeah. Frank? I know Frank.
Yeah, that's what counts, man.
I'm friends with Frank. What? Okay, you can get in. All right, so
yeah.
No, go ahead, Frank. Go ahead.
I don't know. I was just.
He was gonna make a joke. I cut him off. Okay, that's it. We're done. All right. So that's Frank Palangi right there. Website is frankpalangi.com. Is that it?
Yep. Yep. On all social media sites, iTunes, all those good places. Link up. Spotify if you guys want to stream some stuff. Been pushing that a little bit. And
yeah, we play you too. Don't forget about us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the other guy. Yeah.
Request. Like all these online stations and stuff like that. You can either send them an email or they have request lines or chat boards. And what I always say is you guys are the ones that fuel the artists. You guys have the chance to change an artist's career. And it's not just by commenting or liking a post.
Right.
It's maybe going out and requesting songs a couple times a week and, downloading a song or two. And, it's different than supporting on social media than actual, supporting an artist. So, I mean, I appreciate all you guys tuning in. I appreciate everyone that has supported so far and, been able to continue this journey I'm on. And a lot of it is, I'm making music, hopefully, that you guys will enjoy, and it's goes out of this room here, or else it'd just be stuck. And I guess in this computer here.
All right. Well, Frank, thank you so much for joining us again. It was awesome as always to talk to you, and hopefully I'll be able to get away from domesticity and get out and see a show. I have yet to go out and see you at a show. So
August 26th, Trick Shots, Clifton Park.
There you go. Clifton Park Trick Shots, August 26th. Frank Palangi, he's going to be there. You should be too. So thanks for being on X1, Frank. I appreciate it.
Thanks, man. No problem. See you guys later.
All right, rock on, man. This is X1, Albany's Online Rock.